Hello, 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 and welcome to At All Hours. I'm your host, Greg Ramirez, and today I am joined once again by our first, what I call repeat offenders, my friend Jasmin. Welcome back.
Thank you.
You're the first person that's going to be on this podcast that has been on twice now.
And this was a 50-50 thing, so, you know.
Yeah. Yeah, it was meant to be.
Yeah.
So there was actually a long line of people, and she won the lottery of people
toss.
who it was a coin toss about who was going to be on. But whatever. And this time we have some topics. We have some things that we have to go over because a lot's happened since the last episode, which was, what was it? Episode 5 or 6? No, it was 6. I think it was episode 6.
Was it?
Yeah, I think it was episode 6. And it's been a while. There's a few things that have happened.
Yes.
A few things that
Oh, this is really good.
some things that we went to go do that we'll cover probably today.
When?
We do things together.
When?
But that's going to bring us to our first topic that we're going to cover. Hentai.
Yes.
How do you feel about a little thing called hentai? If anyone doesn't know, do you want to explain what hentai is?
No, you can do it. You're the best person for it.
So it's like if cartoons were sexy, if like porn was yeah. They're little sexy cartoons. Sexy Japanese cartoons.
Yes.
I think everyone knows what hentai is. I just like to explain it because I'm a creep myself. But it's the name of a Cigarettes After Sex song. It's one of my favorite songs. Did you know that?
Wait, what?
Yeah.
Wait, say that again.
Cigarettes After Sex. There's a song called Hentai.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
It's really pretty. Well, I mean, most of their songs are really pretty, but it sounds.
I've only heard one song.
It probably sounds exactly like that same song. Like their songs sound pretty much the same, but it's really pretty. Put in the clip right here. Just kidding. There's not going to be any clips.
Oh, I was like,
yeah.
do it.
We'll take a quick pause, and then like last time we watched like 7 movies. We'll take a quick pause, and we're gonna listen to the song Hentai, and then watch 7 hentai films, and then come back on. And then we'll come back. It'll be 8 a.m. and then we'll reconvene. Okay, break. And we're back again, and it's what did I say? 7 a.m.
8
a.m. on the dot.
I think you said 8.
So, I don't watch hentai. I don't watch any pornography.
You should.
Myself.
It's the best.
I don't watch hentai. I don't watch any sort of adult stuff like that. It's just kind of gross to me. Not really my thing.
Oh my
I don't
God.
watch any adult films, anything like that. So,
The lie detector determined that was a lie.
yeah. Are there any that you like? You're like, how much time do you have?
What?
Are there any that you know or that you have watched or not listened to, read or anything? Smut, manga?
Oh my God.
Maybe?
All of the above.
Really?
Yes.
Like what?
Well, so, you
Spit out
know.
my drink right now. Just, well, now that if you really want to talk about it.
It's because I've only ever had that conversation with my boyfriend, you know, so
And now the
it's the first time, like,
the whole country's gonna know now.
now, basically, yeah, so it's pretty,
Pretty intense.
But anyways, I mean, hentai is pretty badass, dude. I fucking love it. And it's so creative, and so I don't know. I was like curious about smut manga, and found some really awesome ones. I think just like by chance at first, because after a while, like you go into this little rabbit hole of like how to find these,
Yeah.
So it's easier for you to know.
I'm like nodding as if I'm like pretending
yes.
like definitely I don't really look into it. I didn't know
Have
about it.
you ever read
Oh,
smut manga? Really?
yes.
Oh,
I was like
okay,
a teenager.
That's crazy.
Is what I would say if I did, but
I almost spit my drink.
I don't know if you know this, kind of a little pervert myself, but
Never noticed.
yeah. I mean,
your podcast is so wholesome. Like
Yeah.
you had your parents on there.
yeah,
like
my Christian podcast.
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those things that like, because I grew up like reading like manga and like just stuff like that, like and then it's kind of like there's, for some of them there's like a very fine line where it's like you could be reading something that's just regular like manga and you're just like, there's like,
which I am.
yeah, and it's like there's like tits in it or like sexual stuff and you're just like, okay. But then it's like there's some that are like that's not the point of it, but there are like, it's like sexualized still. So it was kind of like I was already reading stuff like that when I was like a teenager. So like when I like when it's like finding out about like things like hentai or like anything like that, it was like, okay, well it makes sense. It's not like there's like, oh my god, there's like sexy versions of this, because like the normal versions I'm reading are already like sexual, even though it's like that's not the focal point of it. Like there's like comedy ones that I would be reading, and then there's like sexual parts of it, and that's kind of where I was like, okay, like understanding or coming across them wasn't like hard to kind of wrap my head around,
Okay.
But is that something that's like new? Because like for me that was like 15 years ago.
Yeah.
And for you it's like you're like, oh my god, I don't know if you know this, but there's sexy comics. There's sexy Japanese mangoes.
They're the
Kind
best.
of great. Yeah, it's like I was trying to figure out, what would make this better? If there was like sexy smut to this, and they're like, that's like a whole other thing. Like you're missing out, man.
No, it's a whole thing. Yeah.
That's crazy. It's crazy to.
No, it was
discover
revolutionary, definitely. So yeah, this is fairly new, sort of. I want to say I got into it maybe like 4 or 5 years ago.
Oh, okay.
I think. Yeah.
So like, fairly recently, but not like a couple months ago, where you're
No.
like, did you know that there's videos of people having sex online? Like. That's pretty cool. Are there any do you want to name drop anything? Any notable things that you've been into?
So for me, they're more like girl like type of smut.
Girl Smut's gonna be the name of my new punk band.
You're welcome.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
I'm getting signs of approval from the production team right now.
So the my favorite one is called Fire in His Fingertips.
Ooh. that is a perfect
And he's
name
a
for Girl Smut.
firefighter. It's true. Yeah. It's a good one.
If I had to have like guessed, if I had to like guess what that was, it would have either been firefighter or like someone who controls fire. Because I was like, if it's like, like it's one way or the other. Go on. Tell me more.
About that one or just more smut manga?
Either one. Either of them.
That one particularly is my favorite because it's extra raunchy.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Is it like I guess, is it like extensive? Like, is there a lot of them, or is it just like maybe a few volumes or books or anything?
I don't remember. Yeah. Oh, okay. But I did get up to volume 3.
Okay, we have cool. Our producers showing us that volume 6 volumes right now.
6 volumes. Thank you, producer.
Yeah. So 6 volumes. That's pretty extensive. I feel like it's not just like a couple books. It's not like you just go through them and then you're like, ugh. It's only so many times I could jerk it to the fucking same book. You know what I mean? Does anyone know what I'm talking about?
No.
So I have 6 books to go through. That's pretty cool, though. It's extensive,
Yeah. I didn't know that, but
yeah.
I have up to 3, and I'm about to read number 3.
Oh, okay, nice. Yeah. Well, yeah, at least you're halfway there.
It's good.
Yeah, you have plenty to look forward to then. That's good.
It starts off with the guy saving. They're like friends, like old friends, and then it starts off with the with the firefighter saving the girl because her apartment caught fire, and then he's like, "Oh, you can stay over," and then we fucking
damn. She's like, "I don't know how I'm gonna repay you," and he's like, "I think I know exactly how you're gonna repay me."
And that was my first one, so to see it be so out there, I was like, okay, this is a good time.
Yeah.
I
yeah, we're getting some hand signals from the some hand signals from the producer right now. Yeah, because it's there's different levels to it. So when you go into it and it's very raunchy, and you're immediately like, oh shit, they're just she's like, I don't know how I'm gonna repay you, and he's like, yeah, you do. And then you see her repaying the fuck out of him.
Yeah. Then
you watch okay, we're getting full penetration from the producer. So yeah, and then you see other things, and you're kind of it's going into comparing it to porn. You see hardcore porn, and you're like, holy fuck. And then you see Skinemax, where it's late night Cinemax, and you see softcore porn where there's nothing. You don't see anything happening. You just see people making faces and rubbing their bodies up against each other.
I've never seen that in my life.
Me neither, but I've heard some stuff. So it's you start off.
You're very specific.
they were really specific with me when they told me
about that.
at my Christian camp. But yeah, it's starting on the heavier end of it, and then seeing after oh, there's different kinds of this kind of thing,
Sure, yes.
There's
I agree.
Full penetration, mid penetration, no penetration, kissing, hand
double
holding,
penetration.
Double penetration.
You can't forget that
one. You're that's coming in volume 3, hopefully. We'll see. We're hoping to double up on penetration per volume, per book.
That's just what I'm saying.
So, are there any other ones that you've been any notable names?
There's one that it's called The Game, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
And
the rapper.
Suits. Literally. And I like that one because they're meant to be older, late 20s, early 3rds. And so I like that one. That one's just interesting because it's just a completely different story, so
yeah,
there's still a story, and
yeah.
it's a completely different one because sort of they both try to not like the dude, but he's got that D, so
can't resist.
It's
irresistible. It's the common thread in it.
Pretty much.
You're I read it for the story.
Yeah, but then I started getting into other actual mangas without sexy
full penetration or double penetration. You're I kind of like when they're talking and not just
sometimes
fucking each other.
But when they have magic.
Sometimes.
But when they have magic.
Yeah. It's way different.
Yeah.
That's cool. Was it something that you got into, like you got into more mangas from like reading these, or was it like the other way? Were you already reading mangas going into it?
No, I started like, well, the first thing I started with was Uzumaki.
Oh, okay, cool.
And then just those mangas, like horror, but not like, I'm trying to remember what the other one was called. Oh, you have it. Oh, speak of the devil. Yeah.
Yeah.
And yeah, and so now I'm reading like mangas that I've seen, except Free Ren. I haven't seen that one. Sorry, not mangas, animes.
Yeah, yeah. That's cool because I know like it's cool to like that, like it's kind of funny because usually like for me, like my experience was the other way around.
Yeah.
And then for you it was like you started on like, oh, I'm like reading like smut, and then you're like, hey, but like, the story's kind of nice. Like they don't always have to just
go on an adventure.
Yeah. Yeah.
And do magic. Yeah. Like, kill demons. Like
they don't always have to fuck. It's nice when they do, but yeah, they don't always have to fuck.
No.
Cool. So it sounds like you have a whole new world that you've been exploring.
Yeah.
Lately.
It's been fun.
That's cool. Because like it's cool that you're like you found something that you enjoyed, and then you're just like branching out into other things that are not like what you had originally got into. You're like, it's cool if they don't fuck, but
it's cool if there isn't double penetration.
Yeah,
that's fine.
I prefer it, but I'm okay without it.
I don't prefer it.
Yeah. It's just, I don't know. Guess I was just making things up, making shit up in my head again. I don't know. I'm just spitballing, you know. I know not everyone's in it. I'm not into it. I've heard my Christian camp. Because I only listen to Christian music, go to Christian camp.
Your band is Christian.
My band is Christian, yeah. It's like, I think there's like probably the only like Christian band that I listened to was The Devil Wears Prada. And they're like,
really?
Yeah, they're like, they started as like a Christian metalcore band. And now, not so much now. Like things kind of changed, but it was like when I was like 15, I started listening to them 15 years ago.
Yeah.
Or like 16 years ago.
Devil Wears Prada.
Yeah. I started listening to them, and they're like, they started as like a Christian metal band. Like it was like they'd be like playing live shows, and they're like, just like, they'd basically be saying like, shout out to fucking Jesus Christ. Like our Lord and Savior, like everyone, we're here. Fucking give it up for Jesus Christ. Like it was like that. Like they were like heavy at their shows.
Chewy agrees.
Chewy was giving it up for Jesus Christ. But yeah, that's one of the only like, but I didn't listen to him for that. Obviously, it was just like the music that they made was.
I thought you did.
Well, yeah. I mean, they were just that good, and then I was like, oh, they're also Christian. They would line up with my Christian values.
Yeah. Exactly.
That's why I continued to listen to them. Yeah. But like that's why I've been a fan of them for almost 2 decades now. But we also went to go see a metal band recently.
Yes.
Orbit Culture.
Yes.
Shout out to Orbit Culture. That they're gonna, as if they're gonna listen to this. I'll tag them every fucking day, so they have to be like, who the fuck are these people?
No, don't be weird.
I'm gonna be weird. My whole life I've been weird. And that was your first metal show?
Yeah, it was.
How was it?
It was awesome. I had a great time. They were so good. What, and the opening acts were good too, so that's nice.
Yeah, I don't remember the names of the opening acts. They were really good though.
I know one of them, the one right before they played, Orbit Culture played, is called Thrown into Exile.
Okay. I forgot. But they were really good. Every band that played that we saw. Because we got there like a little late.
But it wasn't. I feel like... Oh, no. Did you say that we might have missed an opening?
I think we might have missed the first band. Because I think there was 2 openers. Okay. And then we saw like the second band.
Okay.
But
yeah. I think we
saw
right
who we
time.
needed. Yeah, we saw who we needed to see.
Yes.
So Yeah, the show was like really cool. It was in a I don't remember the name of the venue because it was like in a weird part of LA.
Called 1720 Warehouse, I believe.
Oh yeah, something like that. So it was
It was actually pretty nice.
yeah. The spot was pretty cool. Like inside it was pretty small.
Yeah.
And it was like I don't even know how like we weren't like super close to the front, but it's like where we were like 10 feet away from the bar, but we were also like in the middle of everything.
Yeah.
Because it's like just like the little like dance floor area was like pretty small.
Yeah.
And you experienced your first like circle pit.
Wait, no, but what's that called when they split the?
Oh yeah, we wall of death too.
Wall of death. That was my first
crazy.
wall of death too.
A lot of firsts that night.
Yeah.
Which I really enjoyed because it was like this by no means was like my first metal show or like intense kind of show like this.
Mm-hmm.
So for me now I'm like I like mentioning the Devil Wears Prada. I had seen the Devil Wears Prada with Andy and Noel like a couple years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like so pumped because I've been a fan for so long, and it was at like a really small venue, and I was ready to just like
lose it.
yeah, like I was ready to fucking rage that night. And I remember the crowd was like really like mild, and I just didn't pit like the whole night. And I just told them, I was like, I'm not gonna pit unless a certain song comes on. And which I was just kind of like, it's like a stab in the dark.
You're such
like,
a brat.
Yeah. I was like, it has to be, there's a certain song, like, I know I'm going to want to rage the whole night, but I want to be the cool old metal dude that hangs at the back. But if a certain song comes on, I'll go in and I'll fuck everyone up. So the whole night, the crowd's like really lame, and I'm just like I'm glad I didn't really get in.
Yeah.
And then they leave, and then they come on for like an encore. And the first song of their encore is the song that I told them I was going to pit to. So as soon as I heard it start, I took my phone out, I took my wallet out, I handed it to them, I was like, I'll be right back. And then I went in and just like fucked people up. Because everyone's already like not pitting hard or not doing anything. So I went in and I just like was like fucking haymakering people and elbowing people. I went to the front, did whatever I wanted, and then I walked back, and then everyone's like, what? Why are you doing this to us? Who are you, mister? But yeah, with Orbit Culture, it was like the whole like crowd was super cool. They were like everyone was really intense, but like everyone was like super cool and fun.
Yeah.
And like what was your experience with it like?
I kept thinking about that person, the really big person.
Oh yeah. That was wild. There's
But it's fine. We don't have to talk about it.
I want to talk about it a little bit. I've been to a lot of shows.
Yes.
Metalheads are usually like, for some metal dudes, they're like all they do is they work out and they listen to metal. They're like jacked metal dudes. I've fucking pitted with dudes who are just like, they look like fucking like power lifters. And I've pitted with them, and then I've been hit by big dudes before. Yeah. I've been in fist fights with big dudes. But at one point, because like since the like dance floor was like so small, as soon as like a circle pit opened up, it was like you're in it regardless. So you were usually like kind of like at the front, and I was trying to play defense all night. So it's like if someone got close, I'm hitting them with
I'm dead.
A straight right across the chin.
Or they're dead.
Yeah. Yeah. So at one point, I think I was like, because if like the pit got really intense or really close to us, usually I would get in front of you so I could like kind of push people away, and you'd just be like right behind me.
Yeah.
And that happened. Yeah, that happened at one point. Mm-hmm. And I remember turning in and being like, are you okay? Like looking to my left and being like, you good? And you're like, yeah. And then as I'm turning back around, seeing someone who is just this fucking absolute unit of a human being. He's in the middle of the pit, not going fast, but people are like, it's like something that is actually in orbit. It's just like smaller people circling around him as he's fucking doing the circle pit. And I look forward as he's coming toward me, and he throws his full weight into me to the point where I'm like, I brace myself and I try to push back on him, and he fucking folds me like a child. Like he's like easily like 400 pounds. A 400-pound man. Yeah, not like a big bodybuilder. Like I've pitted with big muscular jacked dudes that are metalheads. This dude was just a fucking like a planet amongst amongst space dust. He was a planet amongst stars. And he came by and rocked my shit so bad. I wasn't even pitting. I was just trying to push people back into the pit, keep the circle pit going. And he came up and he's like, "You're done," and fucking threw his whole weight into me, and blew me back. And I was just like, it's too old now. Too old. I never thought I would feel too skinny for something, you know? I just couldn't take him. Couldn't handle it. But other than that, I feel like I held my own, you know? Through the night. I wall of death with people. I ran in for a sec, threw hands, and came back.
Yeah, you did. It was fun.
Yeah. It was, what was there?
You were open to check them out, too.
Yeah, I was super pumped. As soon as you told me, too, you're like they're going to play a show. Like, would you be willing to go with me? I was like, fuck yeah. I would have gone even if I didn't like the music, just because I love, like, going to shows. And if you were, like, just telling me, like, I want you to go with me, I'd be like, yeah, of course. But I did listen to them, and I was like, they're sick. So it was, like, it just made it that much more of, like, a no-brainer to just, like, of course I would go.
I would only take you to cool places.
Yeah, exactly. So, yeah, and, like, that's the thing. I trust your taste. So it's like, when you told me about it, I was like super into it regardless. And then I actually did listen to them, and I was like, oh, they're super sick. But was there any other like show that you had been to that compared to that, or that was like maybe similar to that, you think?
Like metal or rock, or what?
No, just like the crowd, I guess, because the crowd, it's way different when you're like at a metal show.
Yeah.
What about like because you've seen like DJs, or like going to see like I've never done anything like that. I don't
really
not that I can think of. No, not really.
Now I know.
Yeah, so for next time.
Yes.
Was there anything that was like not even like intense, like, because it's like it's different for like a metal pit, but do you think there was like a time where you were in a crowd that was just like intense, like more intense than you maybe thought?
I don't think so. It's a metal show.
Yeah, it's a whole different beast when you're seeing like a metal band.
Yeah, it is. I really liked it.
Yeah, it's
people are a lot friendlier.
Yeah, I remember at the end where like the show ended, and then they played September by Earth, Wind and Fire, and then everyone was just dancing.
Oh my god, yeah, that was weird.
Yeah. They played, and everyone was just singing and dancing in the pit and dancing with each other, like complete strangers. Because even after, I was like, I had seen people that were like leaving, that were pitting the whole time. And I was like going up to them, and I'm like, dude, you killed it tonight. Like, that shit was, you fucked it up. And they're like, oh, thanks. And then other people who were in the pit were just like hanging out with each other. And it's like, you're like, I didn't know, like, this is the way it was. Like, it is, like, there's people, it's like when you go into the pit and when you pit hard with someone, it's like a bond, immediate bond. And
the only thing I can really like compare it to is like a rave. I haven't been to one recently, but like a rave where like everyone just does like ecstasy, beep. And so, yeah.
I'll go back and censor it. I've never.
And it makes you really nice and friendly. So
I've never been nice and friendly.
Lies.
I've never.
You get drunk enough.
It's not true. I've never. You can't prove it. Noel's shaking his head like he does when he Noel's like when he gets drunk, he does not get nice and friendly. He shows everyone his balls.
That's not being nice and friendly.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Last time I checked, that's what I think. You know, when I'm like drunk,
That
I'm
sounds
like,
friendly.
yeah, I'm gonna show everyone my balls. I think that'd be cool. I got gum on my pants, and I'm like. My producer is shaking his head right now. Both producers are shaking their heads. Both producers are shaking their heads because they've got tricked by the gum on the pants trick.
Stupid.
But yeah, I've never done ecstasy, which I'll censor again.
Wait, no, you're kidding.
I've never done it.
Wait, really?
Yeah. Now I'm not going to censor it so people know. Well, I guess it wasn't censored to begin with.
We'll see.
I'll censor the first two, and then now talking about it, I won't censor it. Yeah, and I've also never been to a rave. Like, I've been to clubs that played, like, EDM at some point, but I've never been to, like, a rave at all. And I've never, like, I've done mushrooms, and I've done a ton of acid, but I've never done, like, Molly. I've never done ecstasy. I've never done any of that shit.
It was really popular back in our day. So
I know.
That's when I was.
I have a very close friend of mine. I have a very close friend of mine who is potentially a producer on the show now, who was big into ecstasy when I met him. And
that trips me out. That's like a different lifetime for sure.
Yeah, and also saved one of our friends.
He's like the most sober person.
Yeah,
like I know now.
Yeah, he's what we would say in the business, kind of a square.
Bit of a square.
Bit of a square.
In a good way.
Yeah, an adorable square.
Yeah. Equal size.
But yeah, yeah, equal size. But yeah, I never did it. I never.
Wow.
Yeah, that's one of the only things.
I didn't expect that.
It's weird because like when I was younger, I did like I was really into pills, but not into like those kinds of pills. Like I took like painkillers. Yeah. That was like my big thing. Like that was like one of the first things.
Those were awesome too.
Yeah, that's all I can think about. Still, now to this day.
I didn't have as much.
The producers are shaking their heads again, having fought me for pills when I was younger.
I haven't I never experimented too much with painkillers, but
yeah, like
couple times.
I don't know, they're like the best thing
really
that's ever
liked
happened.
it. Yeah,
yeah, they're pretty much
make you
incredible.
Happy.
Yeah, they're like literally pressed happiness into a pill. But yeah, like that's the thing. When I was like a teenager, I started getting into it, and then when I hit my 20s, it was like I was like it was part of like my like cycle of like whatever drugs I was into, until like I started taking acid, and I was like, once I took acid, it changed everything. It's like all I could think about was drinking and acid. Those were like my two big things.
I really loved acid, but I only did it once.
I've done it like 100
I want to
times.
do it again, but
let's do it.
You need it. I'm down, dude, honestly, but like we need to do something. I don't want to just like sit down and do nothing.
Oh no, that's the thing. I was lucky enough, like, because I did acid a lot when I lived in Whittier, and oh my god, my neighbor's going racing.
He's going to go to racing.
he is. My neighbor is going to racing. He is on his way to go be racing. I did it a lot when I was living in Whittier. And then when I got here to Rosemead.
Uh-huh.
You're like, can you hear me?
Are you there? Greg, is that you?
It feels like
outside Greg.
the more you lean into the microphone, the more I just, it feels like you're right behind me, just breathing in my ear.
Greg.
I feel like I'm having a fucking panic attack. But yeah, I did it.
Whoa. The fuck was that?
The neighbor just took off right now. The neighbor just crashed into the fucking house across the street. But yeah, I did it a lot when I was in Whittier, and then when I moved here, thankfully I would when I was living with Noelle, I would take it, And then he would stay sober and be like, what do you want to do? And
what do you want to do with your life? Are you sure this is what you want?
He'd sit me down. He'd sit me down and be like, what are you doing, dude? Your mom's disappointed in you.
I'm disappointed
in you. None of your friends like you. They barely tolerate you. No one wants to listen to any of the things that you're doing. And I'm like, hell yeah.
You smell.
You smell like shit. You look like shit. You are shit. And that's usually what kind of got me going, got me motivated, to get me back on my bullshit.
Okay.
So if you ever want to experience that, what it's like tripping with Noel actually, Noel would actually, anytime because I usually start tripping here, and then we would go out, and he would like drive around to wherever I wanted to go. But one of the running jokes that we've had for years now is even if we were like smoking or if like I would take acid especially, he would go to like the door and then like open it. Like I'd be sitting like where you're sitting like on the couch, and he'd walk up to the door. He'd be playing video games and then walk up to the door and open it and then close it and look back at me and be like, the cops are here. And I'm like, are you fucking... Fucking Noel's laughing. Hold on.
Oh, that's what I was going to say.
What?
I want to take you to a rave. Maybe Wednesday, Sunday.
That'd be fun.
I don't go to them like that, but, when I do.
Yeah, like if you saw something that came up and you're like, we'll go. Yeah, I'm super down.
Okay.
I'll take a bunch of ecstasy.
No.
Okay. Oh, okay. I was just kidding then. No, I feel like now, I don't think I could. I don't think I could take. All right, I guess I would, but I wouldn't. A bunch of
ecstasy?
Yeah.
Okay.
I would take like maybe I would take ecstasy, but I feel like I would be like, I'll just go drink.
I'd rather like, I don't know, do acid or something.
Okay, we could do acid. We could. I was gonna say because, what you went to Medieval Times recently.
Oh, yes.
And I was like, we should
Speaking
take acid and go to Medieval Times. That sounds awesome. We'll take acid because that's the only thing I think that scares people the most is like that acid lasts a long time.
Yeah.
And it fucking does.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, because the thing is you'll trip for a while, but then it's like the come down is just, it's forever. So I used to trip. What do you mean
the come down?
Well, it's like you like might not be
off of it or.
Well, the thing is you might not be like hallucinating the whole time.
Yeah.
But when you're not hallucinating anymore, you're still like wired.
True.
So you're just like wide awake.
Okay.
So like for me, when I would take it, I would take it pretty late in the day. Mm-hmm. Like I would take it at like 4 or 5 p.m. Uh-huh. And then I would like just trip through the night, especially because at night it's like when you go outside you see like the lights like way more intense.
Yes, I agree.
So like seeing those like light streaks and like being out, especially with like Noel, he would be like willing to drive me around and go take me wherever, like do whatever. Like, he would humor me basically for 8 to 12 hours. And through the night, it's like we would start here, we would be watching like videos, and I'd get like the giggles out. And then I would be like, I want to go out and go do something. And he's like, all right, I'll drive you wherever you want to go.
The giggles.
Yeah, because it's like it starts like that, where it's like you take it, and then you like start just kind of like laughing, and we would be watching like videos and shit. And then once I kind of like ease into it, like where I'm actually like hallucinating more and like seeing crazy shit, that's when I want to like go out. And we'll just like drive around and talk, and then like he's completely sober, and then we'd be out for however long, and then we would come back, and then we would just hang out. And then he's like, do you want to go anywhere? Do you need anything? He would always get me like water, and like if I needed to eat, he would make sure I ate or whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, after that, it's like once we got home.
Shout out to Noel.
Yeah. Yeah, one of the producers. Yeah. I can't even, I'm not even going to go into what he just did right now, but that's usually how the night would go. And then like we would get back, and once we were like, I was like settled in, that's when he would smoke and we would just kind of hang out. But even then, like the hallucinations or like whatever I was seeing wasn't so intense. It was just that like I couldn't sleep even if I tried. So usually it would last into like the next morning. That's like my poetry book that I wrote. There was a night that like Noel, he had told me, he's like, I'm gonna go to bed, like I'm exhausted, and he went to bed, and I started drinking at like 4 or 5 a.m. and I drank like a fucking like 18 pack of beer and was like just tripping, like I could not like sleep yet. And I typed out like my poetry book, and it was just, it's super intense, and it's like physically exhausting on your body and your mind, because then when you finally do fall asleep and you wake up, you're just like cloudy and you're like reflecting on the things.
I had such a different experience, dude.
What was yours?
I was like, I mean, it was super chill, and then, but like right at the end, I did fall asleep, and I woke up the next day and felt like completely normal.
Oh, me too then.
That's why I'm like, what do you mean cloudy?
Yeah, no, I felt that.
Like
that's
a
what
hangover,
I meant.
kinda?
No, that's what I meant.
Like a hangover?
Yeah, pretty much.
You were just hungover? I'm just kidding.
Pretty much. Pretty much my whole life.
You were drinking the whole time.
Pretty much my whole life has been.
You were dropping acid.
Yeah. Yeah, I've never done acid in my entire life, actually. No,
never.
I've just drank for my entire life. But I want to talk about you going to medieval times.
Oh, yes.
What was that like? I've never been there.
No? You should go.
No. We should
Super
go.
drunk.
On acid.
Oh, no.
Sounds awesome.
Super drunk. It was really
like?
Fun. I was super tipsy.
Which is a rarity.
Yeah. Yeah. No, well, depends. But yeah, I was super
not like
tipsy
me.
I
guess for me, I'm like everyone else getting
You're
drunk.
tipsy every
like,
day.
Yeah. So. Yeah, that makes sense. Okay.
That's okay.
Yeah.
No, yeah, it was quite the experience. I'm not like too into like medieval stuff, but you know, I was there for the shits and giggles, and like it was really fun. I really liked it.
What was the like the process? Because I've never been there, and I know that's like, from what I know, it's like you get split up into 2 teams, and then you watch people
there's
kill
like
each other.
6 teams.
What? See?
Yeah.
See, I didn't know.
And then you have like this color, and when you walk in, they give you like this crown, and that's like the color that you're gonna be rooting for. And then like you have allies, and
like
you have to
Crips,
root for the
Bloods,
allies.
Latin Kings, and then you're
yeah,
trying to represent who you're supposed to be with.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we were the black and white, I believe. Yeah. And then they do like, you know, cutesy little stuff that's like really like medieval times, where, you know, they just kind of like curtsy their horses and whatever.
Okay.
Like strut around. And then they do jousting, which is the best part to me.
Maybe that's all I know about it then.
Yeah, that's all that matters.
So what was your experience like? Like you went and then you were already...
I mean, that was fun. No, yeah, like I was like rooting hard for those people.
Did you drink more when you got there?
I had like a Malibu, like something
nice.
with Malibu, like a pineapple Malibu thing. It didn't do anything to me.
Okay.
Yeah. I got tipsy because of the mimosas that I had right before that. Yeah.
Nice. At like a place or like at home?
Yeah, no, a place.
Oh, okay. Oh, you were like, let's get mimosas and then
day,
go to
dude.
fucking medieval times.
Yeah.
Watch people kill each other in the dirt. That sounds awesome.
Would you do that?
Yeah, that's I'm like pumped right now. Exactly. I'm like, let's take acid right now. Let's drive down to fucking medieval times.
Let's go tomorrow.
Yeah, I'll quit my job tomorrow to go take acid and go to medieval time. That sounds awesome.
You're so impulsive.
Yeah, that's usually the reason why I've been so successful in my life and so detrimental to everything that I've ever done.
Balance.
It's beautiful. It's a beautiful thing, honestly.
Yeah.
Because, like, I have a house and a car I have to take care of, and like a relationship with my girlfriend, my friends, my family. But at the same time, like, I'll quit my job and then just go like take acid and then go do a bunch of shit and then just sell shit. Which is crazy to say. It sounds like a joke, but Noelle's seen this firsthand with everything in the past, like 5 years. That's how it goes sometimes. I'll just go do whatever because I am impulsive, but it's awesome. I'm like impulsive but responsible, you know? But I'm probably not going to quit my job and go to medieval times right now.
So you lied.
Probably tomorrow though. I'll quit.
This weekend.
Let's go right now. I'm back in. So back right now.
I think you'd really like it, especially if you drink, of course.
I like anything when I drink.
Facts.
I like being at home. I like being at work. As if I went to work when I was drinking. I didn't. I don't.
No,
though.
nobody does that. It's illegal.
Yeah, exactly. That's why I wouldn't do that. My Christian camp.
I've
counselor,
never done that. I can honestly say I've never done that.
I can honestly say I've never done that either. At this job or any other job I've ever had, it's been a nice time, you know, doing whatever. But I've never drank at any job, anything. I've never drank in my entire life. So yeah, cool. But one of the other things I wanted to talk about is something not the last time we hung out, but like one of the a few times ago we had hung out. We were gonna get tattoos.
Never.
No. My Christian camp counselor would not allow that.
No.
What was the idea with the tattoos? You got like I feel like we both got tattoos pretty late in the game compared to other people.
That's true, yeah.
Cuz like I know people like from my job and like just in general who are like from people who are like teenagers or like in their early 20s got tattoos, and they're like, oh, I've had this tattoo since I got a tattoo when I was like 15, and I was like, what the fuck? Like I got my eye tattoo.
You didn't get that out of the studio, girl.
Yeah, you went to like your uncle's like friend's house and got like some sketchy stick and poke.
I went to a friend one time and they just did it at someone's house.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like my eye tattoo and then my 7 tattoo I got like a few years ago, only like maybe 3 years ago. So like 28, 27, something like that. And then got my new tattoos like pretty recently too.
Were those impulsive?
Kind of. No. Actually, they weren't. It was the eye and the 7 were more impulsive. Because this one on my arm. This one was more impulsive only because Noelle and I had gone out to it was still, actually now that I think about it, it's been a while, because it was post pandemic, but it was still where like a lot of restaurants had like outdoor seating still. So like in Uptown Whittier, in order to like for those like restaurants to like survive, or like the bars to survive, they pushed everything outside. And then from there, after like COVID kind of was like on the like decline, where it was like, okay, it's like it's not killing everyone, it's just like a really bad virus, but it's not as bad as we thought, and this and that, where it's like you can still go to restaurants, but it has to be outside and you wear masks, whatever, all that bullshit. It was like they still had like restrictions, so a lot of Uptown Whittier was just like sectioned off, where it was like all outdoors.
I remember that.
Yeah, like
the street.
Yeah, the whole street would be like blocked off, and like basically when you're like any indoor restaurant was just now outside, and that helped like alleviate the whatever COVID thing. But it was, I went to a restaurant with Noelle, and we were eating, and then we were drinking like the whole time. Like we just went like bar hopping, and when we went, I was telling him about like how I wanted to get a tattoo, because Noelle has a bunch of tattoos already. And I was like, I've been wanting to get a tattoo. I'm like all drunk. And he's like, why don't you go to like just the fucking tattoo shop up the street? So I was like, all right, you know what? Fuck it. I think I'm going to go. And then I went when I was drunk to go like make an appointment. And I went in to like talk to someone about it. And then when I went, the guy was like, yeah, like set up an appointment. I'm free on this day. We'll do this and that. And I was like, cool. This is what I want to get, whatever. And then afterwards, like the next day, I was like, fuck, like I can't believe I made a tattoo appointment, but like I'm ready to fucking get a tattoo.
Yeah.
So I went, and then got it like immediately. So I got the I tattooed, and then I got the 7 tattooed on my neck. And then after that, it was more like once I got the tattoos, I felt like tattoos aren't that big of a deal all the time. Like it's like you can get a tattoo and it can be really meaningful, which the eye tattoo is really meaningful. That all the tattoos I have are meaningful in some way, but it's not like every single thing you have to get has to be like so like deep in meaning. It doesn't have to be so deep rooted, because like the biggest example is like my Felix the Cat tattoo, which I can't even see without a mirror. So it's like,
I think that's cool. I have the same, same.
Yeah, it's like
I can kind of see it.
Yeah, you just know that it's there, but it's more that like the Felix the Cat tattoo is like, I love Felix the Cat. I just thought like I used to have him like stickers of him on my old guitars when I was younger.
Yeah.
I just thought he was like super cool, and I loved the way. Like,
was he like a cartoon?
Yeah, he was a cartoon character.
Like an actual cartoon?
Yeah, there's like cartoons of him, and like they're old cartoons.
Play him right now.
I know. Go ahead and put it up the clip.
If someone offers you a magic bag, just tell them, no thanks. I'm saving up my money for an edible wig.
All right, and we're back. It's now, what, like 10 a.m. probably?
Yeah, no, like 1 p.m.
1 p.m. It's 1 p.m. That's why I always get him confused.
3 p.m. and 1 p.m.
Yeah, yeah, 3 and 1s, whatever, 3s and 1s and 1s and 3s. I just always loved his like design, and then when I would watch the cartoons, obviously I love cats. I love his like character, and that was the extent of it. It was just like I loved his little character.
That's
I loved
valid.
the little cartoons. I thought they were just cute, and he was cute.
Yeah.
And then I wanted the like design to be like indicative of the things that I had done. So I kind of told my friend Jasmin, also Jasmin, she drew up everything like that I wanted and put it together, and it was like it was an original thing that she put together from pictures that I told her I wanted. And it was just like, if no one's seen it, I have a tattoo on my tricep, in the back of my arm, above my elbow, of Felix the Cat with his like eyes in spirals and then his tongue sticking out with an acid tab. And I just thought it was a cool tattoo. I thought it was funny because I had done so much acid when I was younger, and that was it. Like there wasn't like this like deeper meaning to it, because it's like the eye tattoos that I have on like my shins, like ankles, like they have meaning through like the alchemy symbols that they have.
I really like that about those.
Yeah, like I really enjoyed them, like that, like having this like deeper meaning to them.
Yeah.
But it's like once I got the which, like I said, the first eye tattoo and then the 7 tattoo, like they have meaning to them. But it was also like something that I didn't have to like dig too much deeper into it, you know? So
I thought I was always going to get like something meaningful, or at least like something also, like a Felix the Cat one, where it's like something that I liked, for a long period of time, my whole life or whatever. Like I've always wanted like a teacup because of Alice in Wonderland.
Yeah.
But that was ages ago. And then like it really came down to like the artist for me, and she was going to be here. So I was like, you know what? And my thing was like, I had no idea what I was like getting. Like I just went in there and was like, okay, well, go for it.
Yeah.
I just like I just wanted her to incorporate the moon because I fucking love the moon. And so, yeah. But everything else was just like from her brain.
That's cool. What was the like process like for that? Like meeting?
She just like so she doesn't like stencil particularly like traditionally, where it's like on a paper and then it just like stamped on you.
Yeah.
She just like marks you with like a marker real quick.
Oh,
and like
okay.
has a design, and then like you look at it and you have to either you give her some suggestions or you say you like it or whatever. And so, yeah. And then she goes in.
Okay. So it's kind
but
of
it's like far more detailed, like
yeah.
the finished product compared
Yeah.
to like the stencil.
Yeah. That makes sense. It's like you really start with like an idea.
I want to show you a picture.
You get like an idea of what it's going to be like.
Mm-hmm.
And then she'll like probably describe like this is where it's maybe gonna go, kind of more or less, and then at least getting like describing like a starting point, you know.
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty cool. Because like for mine, they were like ideas that I went to with like the first. I don't even remember the fucking first guy's name. Well, who cares?
Oh, you didn't go to Jasmin for all of them?
No, the I and the 7. I went to a place in Whittier.
Here, let me show you.
The pictures are badass.
Thank you. Yeah.
They're really pretty.
And yeah, you know.
The tattoo comes out, or like the tattoo came out really pretty altogether, especially the fact that it's like into essentially like semi-improvised but like mostly improvised sessions, where it's like there's like a design of like rough layout, but then it's like still relatively like freehand, and it's really cool, especially like getting into like when you really look at it, the details of it are really really interesting.
It's very abstract too, which is like me, you know.
Yeah it definitely is. And we're also gonna get tattoos, matching tattoos. And you proposed the idea for the idea of the tattoo, which was gestures.
Yes.
Where did that come from?
I don't know, it felt right.
As soon as you told me, I was like, oh yeah, of course, like no brainer.
Like it was either that or something like Bugs Bunny.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm like, I feel like a gesture also just represents Bugs Bunny.
Yeah, it's like Bugs Bunny was definitely like one of the things that we're like, I think we might have talked about it in the last episode. It was like Jim Carrey was like one of the things that we related on a lot. And then it was like Bugs Bunny. Like there's a picture of me. I feel like I might have posted it at some point when I was like on Instagram of when I was younger. I think I might have been in like kindergarten and I dressed up as Bugs Bunny. Did I show you that picture?
I don't, maybe. Yeah.
I might have shown it. Like, I mean, after all these years, I probably showed it to you at some point. But, like, my mom used to make my costumes when I was a little kid. And she made sweet. My mom made a costume from scratch, like of full head to toe Bugs Bunny. And it's like the picture that I have that my mom took is like so sick. It's so cool. But that was one of the things that was like that we related on, was like Bugs Bunny, Jim Carrey, just like really animated like characters in general. And then it always came down to being like a jester, and it was like there's so much more to like, to me the way it always felt was like there's always so much more to each of us and like kind of who we are, but it's like we're always so willing, we always want to make everyone laugh, and like we're always so like charismatic, and like
I'm just like naturally funny, I think, you know.
You are
like,
definitely naturally
I'm not
funny.
really trying to make people laugh. I'm just like, oh
yeah, sorry for being this funny.
I'm just so funny.
Yeah.
I was just talking about it to my coworker today too. Like literally today, I'm like, you know that theory where like the most traumatized people are like the funniest? I wholeheartedly believe that.
Yeah, like it's weird because like I didn't grow up with any sort of like maybe not that I remember, but I never blocked it out of your memory. I had like the worst
That's
childhood.
Trauma.
I was like, no, I had a great childhood growing up. Yeah. Like I well, I mean, like you've met like my parents, my family and stuff, and it's like my family and my parents, like I had like a pretty nice upbringing. Like I had a really great upbringing. My parents are incredible, and it was never that. It was just that like the difference was, it's kind of like the thing of like nature versus nurture, because it was like my parents were great parents. I looking back, even when I was like in my 20s, when I still remember being like a teenager or like a kid, like my parents were great. And now being at the age that I'm at, like now being like my dad's age when my parents had me, it's kind of like you could do the best that you can. And they did, and they were great. And like my family was great to me, like my immediate family, like that I still am in contact with now, like they were super great to me. But it was more like there was just something that was like wrong with me. And it was like
No.
I mean, to an extent, in a way, I mean, you know, and
Little
like
oddball.
yeah, exactly. So I kind of dealt with things differently, or I kind of got into things that I maybe shouldn't have gotten into. But that was kind of the thing. It was like that's the way I coped with things, was like with comedy and like laughing and joking about things, and turn it into something that I just felt like I didn't take everything so seriously, and which is a good thing, but could be a bad thing.
See, I take things very seriously.
Yeah.
And I feel like it was just my own upbringing of having to be like responsible.
Yeah.
So
I never had to be responsible. And I think that was like,
I mean, I didn't have to be like responsible, like, oh, you get a job at like 16,
2.
18. Yeah.
you
like
go into the coal mines at 5.
But definitely had to like, but that's the thing, like at some point I rebelled and I was like, nah, fuck this, you guys are not good people.
I remember you rebelling, and this is also some like deeper lore that we've known each other. You're the person that I've known the longest, like that's not like family, that I've known you the longest. That people think that like I've known, like I've been friends with like Noelle like the longest, and it's like I've known you since middle school. That's fucking crazy. And I remember you in middle school being a fucking brat rebel in middle school.
I remember your very, very, very long hair.
Yeah. And like
the real Greg lore.
Yeah, deep Greg lore.
Deep Greg.
Deep
dark web.
Yeah. Top 10 deep dark web websites. So I remember I remember being like in middle school, and we would hang out, and like I remember every single day, because we went to we went to this elementary,
Virginia High School.
We went to Virginia. We went to Virginia
Andy.
Middle School.
Hentai.
We went to Hentai Middle School in Hentai World, USA, and everyone where the whole time everyone was DPing each other in a whole world of DP. Jazz and I.
You're here, DP.
Yeah.
You're here.
It was like being in prison, where it was like everyone was DPing
it was
each
prison.
other. Everyone was too busy DPing each other, and we're like, "Hey, look, we don't want to get DP'd
you're
right
out.
now." Yeah. In a world full of DP, it's either
you're in or you're out.
It's either P or B DP'd.
What? You lost me there. It's too many letters.
So
too many numbers.
So, we were in Hentai Middle School, and
I already forgot about that.
Yeah. And we would hang out, and then like I think we had like a couple classes or something together, but then we would hang out like during like recess or whatever. I don't even remember what they had in middle school.
We were around the same area. I remember that.
Yeah, and we would hang out.
So by proxy, we like somewhat knew the same people, I think.
Yeah, because at first it was like we were hanging out in like the same, relatively in the same areas, and then eventually.
Oh, because you knew Peter.
Yeah, because I went to
the link.
Yeah, I went to elementary school with Peter, and I'd been like, that's why, like, damn, like with Peter was like probably my like longest running friend, because Peter was my friend from like I think like first grade.
Oh shit.
Yeah, like I had been friends with Peter from first grade, so whatever age that was.
Yeah.
I was friends with Peter from first grade, and I remember he introduced me to like music and like video games and a lot of shit that I didn't know about.
Aww.
And like, yeah, he was like one of my first like really close friends. And then as like time went on, obviously it's like we get older and we kind of like disconnect from like who we're friends with, as it just happens.
Yeah.
But Peter was the only person who I was friends with from when I was in first grade to, you know, unfortunately when he passed away, to like the time when he did pass away, and which was like in the time of now, like it was, I don't even know, maybe like 4 or 5 years ago off the top of my head, but like a significant amount of time now. But even then, like on Instagram, like Instagram's like relatively new to someone like for like our age. Like it's not something that was around forever, so it's like to be friends with him when I was like, we were burning CDs, like we were burning White Stripes CDs when we were kids.
Yeah.
And then talking about like PS2 games when we were kids, and then going into talking about drugs and like drinking when we were in high school, and then talking about our mental health when we were already in our like late 20s. And then when he passed away, it was just, I felt like so weird about that happening. And he's actually like, he was the longest like running friend that I had for years, because every other friend that I had from that time and from then till now, like I really like maintained contact with him, even though we didn't like hang out after high school. We didn't hang out all the time.
Yeah.
It was just that we stayed in contact, and he would always message me and talk to me and stuff, and it was strange. I completely forgot about that. That was like the connecting point. And yeah, he was really like one of my closest friends from when we were literally like children in elementary school.
Yeah.
Till we were adults, like in our 20s. And yeah, that was the connecting point, because he was insane, and I loved him to death. He was so smart, so cool.
He was really nice.
Yeah, he was so considerate, but he was just like his whole life, he was just absolutely like insane and funny and so cool. And like that was what kind of connected, what bridged the gap between like my group of friends and your group of friends.
Yeah.
And because I remember being in like hentai middle school, that by the vending machines. That's how we
went to hentai high school.
Yeah.
hentai college.
Hentai high school sounds like an actual like book you might be reading.
We could bookmark that one.
Well, yeah, we'll go ahead and that's actually being
that's ours.
That's ours. Yeah, we're gonna go ahead and take it. That's already been copyrighted. So no one else used that.
Stamp signed and sealed.
Yeah, that's a perfect way to put it. Also, we're gonna look it up after, and people are gonna be like, "You guys are the 7th in line for hentai high school. Trust us." Everyone wants that name. Everyone wants that IP. But yeah, being in middle school, like that spot where like the vending machines are, and like the little the little benches by the vending machines.
Yeah.
Like, that's when I met you. That's when I met like a few other friends. And
you met Noelle in high school or middle school too?
No, in high school.
Okay.
Freshman year of high school.
Okay.
So I met Noelle in freshman year of high school through our friend Pedro, and we didn't talk through our sophomore year, and then when we both got kicked out, and we went to Salazar, we like saw each other and we're like, oh, why, we're like friends, we already hung out before. And when we did, that's when he introduced me to like the rest of the friend group. So like the whole friend group, everyone that like I know now, is the friend group that he was already friends with since middle school. So it was way different. But yeah. Oh, Clementine just ran up to me. But yeah, it was.
She's like, it's time for bed, Dad.
I know.
You're up
She's like,
so
it's
late.
time. It's time to wrap up this episode.
Yeah, you've been talking for 24 hours.
I know. Yeah. So yeah, we've been friends for a long time, and I remember when you were like, this is what I was getting at with that. You were a rebel and a brat in middle school because we had these regulations where it was that you had to wear a collared shirt. to school, and every single day, because if they're like, you had to wear like a certain thing to school, and if you didn't, they had these green and like green floral print shirts, like collared shirts that you had to wear, and there, it didn't matter what size it was, it didn't matter if they were clean, you had to wear it. If you're not going to wear the fucking thing that we say to wear, you're going to wear this thing.
I feel like they were never cleaned.
They were not. And they didn't care about your size. They didn't care about anything. They're like, if you don't want to wear what we're telling you to wear, then you're going to wear this thing that we have. And every single day I would see Jasmine wearing one of these shirts, like a prison smock. Yes. And it was like, you can buy a collared shirt, and she's just
I had them.
Yeah. She's like, I'm not going to wear it. I'm not going to wear it. I'm not going to wear it because fuck you. And I was like, man, she's so fucking cool. And now, years later, almost 2 decades later, we're sitting together talking about the tattoos that we're going to get.
Matching tattoos.
2 jesters, 2 fools for years. And I think it's pretty fitting. And
yes.
I'm also really glad that I could have you on again as a guest tonight. And I'm always happy to have you on as a guest. I'm always happy to just have you come and hang out. And the fact that you're able to, or that you're willing to record with me.
Yes.
And humor me. And
I was ill prepared, but
yeah.
we got through. Yeah. We got through.
We survived. But yeah, thank you for coming on again.
Thank you.
And it's always fun. The first time was fun. This time is fun too. And I'm sure there's going to be a part 3 and 4 and who
infinity.
Yeah, infinity times. There has to be an update when we do get our tattoos.
That's true.
So
yes.
We'll talk about that then. Do you have any closing words for anyone?
This time I don't.
Watch and read hentai. Double penetration.
Fire in his fingertips.
Yeah, that's gonna be the closing word.
Check it out.
Yeah.
In the closest Barnes and Noble near you.
Yeah, that's where it's gonna be. All right. Well, thanks for coming on. I always love having you on. And you'll be on again. Okay. Bye.
Bye.